I'm going to call this meeting to order, and this will be the first meeting of the Transportation Public Works Committee 2017. I'm Councilmember Reich. I'll be chairing today's committee, and I'm joined by my colleagues on this committee, including Councilmembers Yang, Glidden, Palmisano, Bender, and Gordon is here as well, so we are a full committee and conduct today's business. On today's agenda, we will find a dozen consent items and one discussion item. I'll go through the consent items. Any committee member can pull a consent item for further consideration. Item 1 on the agenda is the sale of the city-owned vehicle command van to University of Minnesota. And that's an execution of the sale of a Freightliner as described, and that'll be referred to Ways and Means Committee. Item 2 is a Special Service District Advisory Board appointments. All of those appointments are listed in today's agenda for their appropriate service area. Item 3 is the 4th Avenue Signal Upgrade Project, contract amendment with Thomas & Sons for the amount listed, and accepting some additional Federal Highway Safety Improvement Grant funds for that project, and a resolution adjusting the appropriation accordingly. That'll be referred to Ways and Means Committee as well. 42nd Avenue North Street Reconstruction Project from Xerxes Avenue North to Lyndale Avenue North will be set for a public hearing and adoption of the price for that and the location for that work. The public hearing will be held on February 14th, 2017. Item 5 is the grant acceptance for the State Safe Route School for Lyndale Schools Crossing for the amount listed. Item 6 is the 2017 Concrete Street Rehabilitation Program project designation and setting the public hearing. And the public hearing for that is to be set for February 14th, 2017. Item 7 is the I-35W Lake Street Transit Access Project, project designation and setting the public hearing. And that public hearing will also be held on February 14th, 2017. Item 8 is the I-35W Lake Street Transit Access Project, supplemental agreement with the Minnesota Department of Transportation for cost participation in the public infrastructure design that is described in today's agenda. Item 9 is the Lime Sludge Holding Tank Repair Project, and that's a contract amendment for TMI Coatings Incorporated for that work. Item 10 is the Metropolitan Council Municipal Infiltration Inflow Grant Program, and that's accepting an additional amount of dollars as stated from the state bond funded grant agreement with the Metropolitan Council. And it's also passed a resolution of appropriation of revenue for the program to reflect that additional funding. Item 11 is the bid for the Lyndale Safe Routes to School project, accepting the low bid from TZAC Concrete to do that work for the amount listed. And the final item on the consent agenda today is the bid for the Columbia Heights Filtration Plant Partial Masonry Project. And that's a low bid for Building Restoration Corporation for the amount listed. Does anyone wish to pull a consent item for further consideration? Seeing none, I will move all consent items. All in favor say aye. Aye. Dissenting name. That carries. We can now move to our discussion item. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. I'd like to introduce Brett Jelly, who will present information on this discussion item regarding resolution for the Commons Park.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and committee members. Happy New Year. My name is Brett Jelly. I'm the Director of Business Administration for the Public Works Department. The item in front of you relates to the 2017 operations of the Downtown East Commons. This process really started in 2016 when, in May, the council authorized an agreement with the Minneapolis Downtown Improvement District for the interim operations of the Downtown East Commons. At that time, the council also approved and gave directions to staff to negotiate with Green Minneapolis for the 2017 operations of the park. The most recent action happened when the mayor and council approved $500,000 in the 2017 budget for the operations of the commons. The city of Minneapolis and Green Minneapolis have agreed on essential terms for 2017. Green Minneapolis will provide maintenance and facilities management, safety and hospitality services, administration and management, events, programming, and marketing for the commons in 2017. The budget for 2017 is $1.375 million, and the contract term is for 1 year, with the ability to renew annually for up to 2 additional years. There are 2 additional items as part of this action. The first is authorizing a waiving of request for proposals for any agreements between Green Minneapolis and its professional service contractors. What this action allows Green Minneapolis to do is to leverage the competitively bid contract Minneapolis DID has for ambassador service to provide the hospitality services at the Commons. The second action is a passage of a resolution for the acceptance of charitable gifts from Green Minneapolis for operations and construction of the downtown East Commons. This is a required action to accept the money from the fundraising campaign for the Commons capital and operating expenses. That concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions per the presentation? I see no questions per the presentation. So with that, I will move the item before us as described today and before you in today's agenda. Any further discussion per that motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Dissenting nay. That carries. We have now concluded today's agenda. We are adjourned. Thank you.